is Ashley McReynolds. And I might also ask Brandy Melissa to come too.
Thank you.
Okay, state your name for the record.
Sure. Good morning, Chairman and committee members. My name is Ashley McReynolds. I'm from here in Baton Rouge, and my son Cooper is here with me, who has Prader-Willi syndrome and is currently receiving a Children's Choice waiver. I first want to start by thanking Representative Shadowin for bringing this legislation and, more importantly, recognizing the need across the state for additional revenue to provide vital services to the citizens. As you previously heard from Dr. Gee, there was just not enough money to fill all of the needs of people people with disabilities. Tens of thousands of families are still without services and are frankly without hope. The legislature seemed to struggle with determining what should be Louisiana's priority for funding. While the legislature did seem to prioritize supports and services for people with developmental disabilities over many other areas of critical need, it is just not possible for the budget to fully meet all of the needs of people with developmental disabilities. It is heart-wrenching and sad that one person with a disability or a parent would get good news about their program being funded, knowing the funding to another program or the hope for services was shifted or not restored in another. Additional revenue is still needed to fill vacant waiver slots to begin addressing the waiver waiting list of 14,000 individuals, to fully fund the human service districts and authorities that support families while they endure the 11-year wait, to adequately compensate direct support workers that serve individuals once they finally receive a waiver, and to restore the high cost fund for schools who serve students with significant disabilities. There was discussion over the past few weeks regarding how pro-life Louisiana is related to abortion because a fetus is identified with a disability. Questions were asked if Louisiana is pro-life throughout life. Now is your chance to vote pro-life once our children leave the womb. I chose life, and all the parents that are sitting behind me also chose life, and ask you to support that choice in supporting raising funds that are needed to help us raise our children throughout their lifespan. We are here in support of this bill and need the revenue it raises and all other revenue-raising measures. Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to go? And then Cooper just has a little message for you
Sure.
all. Tell him who
Will he
you are.
state his name for our record?
Cooper,
Thank you, Cooper. Do you have a statement?
help my friends who are still waiting.
Thank you, Cooper. That was very good. Yes, ma'am.
I'm,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Brandy. I haven't been here the last couple of weeks because yesterday afternoon, my mom, who most of y'all who were here last year are involved with the domestic violence legislation with Senator Broom and Representative Marino and others, y'all have seen her. May 21st at 8 a.m., I got a knock on my door, and she asked me to come help her. I thought it was just to help her find something, like she forgot where she put it. I walk outside of my house to lock my door, and my neighbor who's sitting outside stops me and was like, "Brandy, your mom's head's bleeding." I don't even remember locking my door. I think he had to lock it after I left because I froze, pulled my key out my door, and started running because she lives in one building and I live in the very next one. I got to her house and there was blood on her sofa, her bed, her bathroom. I had to scream at her and find out where she was. Blood on the sink in the bathroom, blood on the toilet, blood on the wall. I called EMS because even as a medical assistant, I knew I was not going to be able to stop her bleeding in her head, her ears. I mean, she was coming out of everywhere, so I kind of freaked. They also, when they came in, assessed her, they saw a puddle of blood in the kitchen, so everybody thinks that's where she originally fell. 6 CAT scans and 2 MRIs later, it was determined that she has 3 brain bleeds, which likely caused the stroke. My mom, who can normally outwalk and outrun anybody, spent 16 days at Our Lady of Lake Medical Center. She is, because of her health conditions before that, someone who would probably be affected if the hospitals are not funded. And throughout the 16-day stay that we had, I nearly lost her 3 times because the hospitals are not adequately staffed with people that can handle fall-risk patients on bed alarms. That if I wasn't there, I don't think I'd be sitting here right now because I'd probably be planning a funeral. So I'm begging you, just like I've had to beg you for disability services to be funded, even though I'm not going to be personally affected. I have a developmental disability from birth. I'm just fully, unlike a lot of other people, able to get up here and function. So it's my duty to get up here and speak. Right now, I got a call this morning because I had to get a PCA lined up for my mom. And I asked the lady that went out to do the interview how she was doing. When I left this morning at 6:30 to come up here for 8 o'clock, my mom could barely, it took her 20 minutes to open the front door. When she finally opened the door, I asked her how her night went. And she said, in a very faint voice, rough. And her hand dropped from the door. And I just made sure she was able to go sit back on the sofa because she's barely able to talk straight and can't walk on her own right now. They had to bring her a walker after her PCA assessment was over. So please, I don't care what you have to do. I'm not one that likes raising taxes. But when it comes to the most vulnerable in this state, their lives being jeopardized because certain people who claim to be pro-life in this legislature, new and veterans that don't want to raise revenue, you're affecting the lives of Louisiana's most vulnerable who are not in the room, but they also can't speak for themselves. My mom can't be here right now to tell you that she needs her services, if she has to go back to the hospital because of a brain problem or a cardiac arrest. If revenue's not raised, I will be planning a funeral, and that's not something I want to do. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and Cooper, for y'all's testimony.